Welcome. Tonight, this story is for the one who feels like something is coming apart. The one who cannot quite name what changed, only that the walls do not feel as solid as they used to. The one who has been holding it together all day, and is finally allowed, here in the dark, to set the holding down. You do not have to hold anything tonight. Not the day. Not the plan. Not the version of yourself you have been carrying around like a heavy coat. For the next little while, you can put all of it on the floor beside the bed, and let it stay there until morning. If you are inside your Saturn return, and your Saturn is in Aries, and lately your life has felt less like a house and more like a building site, this episode is for you. If you have been wondering why the things that used to feel certain have started to wobble, why the ground keeps shifting under what you thought was finished, this episode is for you. And if you are simply tired, and you would like a quiet voice to sit with you while the world goes still, you are welcome here too. Before we begin, let yourself arrive. There is nothing to fix tonight. There is nothing to solve. The falling apart, whatever it is, can wait until you have slept. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the bed beneath you. Notice the place where the back of your head meets the pillow, soft and warm. Notice the temperature of the air against your face. Notice the slow rise and fall of your own breath, without trying to change a single thing about it. Take a slow breath in through your nose, and let it out through soft lips, longer than the breath that came in. Again, a little slower. Let your belly rise gently as the air arrives. Let your shoulders fall as the air leaves. And one more. Let your jaw unclench. Let your tongue rest behind your teeth. Let the small muscles around your eyes go quiet. Let your hands open just slightly wherever they rest. One last breath, the slowest one yet. Feel the cool air at the very tip of your nose as it comes in. Feel the small pause at the top before the exhale begins. Feel how your body, when it is finally given permission, already knows how to soften. Good. Now settle in. In Vedic astrology and in the old Western traditions, and in every culture that has ever watched the sky and tried to make sense of a human life, Saturn is the builder. Not only the teacher, the builder. Saturn is the planet of structure, of foundations, of the slow, patient work of making something that will still be standing in 30 years. Saturn does not care for what is fast or what is shiny. Saturn cares for what holds, what endures, what can carry weight without cracking. And Aries is fire. In Vedic astrology, Aries is Mesha, the ram, the very first sign of the zodiac. The energy of beginnings, of instinct, of the spark that leaps before it has worked out where it will land. Aries is the part of you that wants, that starts, that moves, that says yes before the rest of you has caught up. So when Saturn, the slow builder, walks into the house of Aries, the impatient beginner, something has to give. The builder looks at the structure that the fire built in a hurry, and the builder begins very quietly to test it, to lean on the walls, to ask which beams are truly load-bearing and which were only ever decoration, to tap on the foundation and listen for the hollow sound. Saturn entered the sign of Aries in the year 2025. Saturn will stay in Aries until early 2028. For everyone alive during these years, this transit is asking something. But for one particular group of people, the asking is far more personal. If you were born between roughly 1996 and 1999, your natal Saturn is in Aries, which means that right now, transiting Saturn is returning to the exact place it stood in the sky on the day you were born. This is your first Saturn return, the great rite of passage of the late 20s. The moment the builder comes back to inspect the house you have made of your life so far. It takes Saturn about 29.5 years to travel all the way around the sky and come home to where it began. That is the slow heartbeat of a human life. It is why this moment lands when it lands, somewhere in the late 20s, almost always in the same narrow window. It is not a coincidence that so many people feel the floor shift around the same age. It is the oldest clock in the sky, striking the hour it was always going to strike, the day you were born. And you are not going through this alone, even though it feels lonely. Everyone born in those same few years is feeling the same builder testing the same kind of walls. All across the world, quietly, in the small hours, people your age are waking to the same low creak in the timbers, wondering the same thing you are wondering. You are part of a whole generation walking through the same long night. You just cannot see the others from inside your own house. But they are there. And they are awake too. There is something tender about that if you let it land. The thing that feels most isolating is in fact the most shared. The falling apart is not a sign that you failed where others succeeded. It is a season, and the season is passing over all of you at once, like weather over a whole valley. And here is the thing no one tells you clearly enough. When the builder arrives, the first thing that happens is not building. The first thing that happens is taking apart. That is why it feels like falling apart. Because something is genuinely coming down. But what is coming down was never the whole house. It was only the part that was never going to last. So let me tell you a story to rest inside of tonight. You do not have to picture it perfectly. Just let the images come the way they want to, soft and unhurried, while your body stays heavy and still. Imagine a house. Your house. Not the house you live in now, but the house you have built inside yourself over all these years. The house of who you thought you were. The rooms of your routines. The walls of your certainties. The roof of your plans. You built this house quickly the way Aries builds. With courage and instinct and a great deal of hope. Some of it you built beautifully. Some of it you built in a hurry, in the dark, with whatever materials were within reach because you needed shelter and you needed it then. And for a long time the house stood. Kept the weather out. Held. But lately something has changed. You walk through the rooms and they do not feel the way they used to. A door that always opened easily now sticks. A wall you leaned on for years has started to feel thin. And one night you wake to a sound you do not recognize. A low creak in the timbers. The sound of something settling, or shifting, or letting go. That sound is Saturn. The builder has arrived. And the builder works at night. So you get up in the story and you go down to find the source of the sound. And there, in the lower rooms of the house, you find the builder already at work. There is a single work lamp on a stand in the corner, throwing a warm circle of light across the floor. The rest of the room is soft shadow. The air is cool the way the air is cool in a house with its windows open to the night. There is the smell of old timber and cold air and a faint, clean trace of sawdust. Notice the small details of the room, the way you notice things in a dream. The grain of the wooden floor under your bare feet, worn smooth in the places you have walked the most. The dust drifting slowly through the cone of lamplight, each tiny particle turning, unhurried, going nowhere. The faint sound of the wind moving somewhere beyond the open wall, low and constant, like the sea heard from far away. A canvas dust sheet folded over a chair in the corner, pale and still. And the deep, settled quiet of a house in the middle of the night, when the whole world has gone to sleep and only the slow work remains. You are not afraid here, not really. The room is too warm for fear, and the builder is too calm. There is only the lamplight, and the cool air, and the slow turning dust, and the sense growing in you that this taking apart is somehow being done with great care. And the builder is there. An old presence, patient and unhurried, moving slowly through the half-taken apart room. The builder does not turn to frighten you. The builder simply works, lifting a board here, drawing a finger along a beam there, testing, listening, removing. You watch as the builder rests a hand against one of the inner walls. The wall you always thought was holding the whole house up. the wall you built your identity against. And the builder leans gently and the wall gives way. It comes down softer than you expected, in a quiet fall of dust. And where it stood there is now only open air, and the cold night beyond and the stars. And your first feeling is fear. Of course it is. Something just came down that you thought was permanent. But then the builder turns to you in the warm lamplight and says, without any cruelty at all, this one was never holding anything up. You only thought it was. Feel the house now. Feel how it still stands. And you do feel it. The house is still standing. The roof is still over your head. The floor is still beneath your feet. The wall that came down was never load-bearing. It only felt that way because you had been leaning on it for so long that you had forgotten how to stand without it. This is the secret at the center of the falling apart. The things that are coming down in your life right now are not the foundation. They are the walls you mistook for the foundation. And the only way to learn the difference is to feel one of them fall, and feel yourself still standing afterward. So lie here, in the warm lamplight of the story, and let me walk you slowly through the phases of the falling apart. Not so you can do anything about them, only so you can recognize them and stop being so afraid of them and finally rest. The first phase is the crack. It is small. It is almost nothing. Something you relied on stops working the way it used to. A relationship, a role, a certainty, a story you told yourself about your future. Nothing dramatic. Just a hairline crack in a wall you never looked at closely. And you tell yourself it is fine. You paint over it. You look away. But the crack is the builder's first knock. The builder is saying gently, this part is not as solid as you believe. The second phase is the wall coming down. This is the part that feels like falling apart. The thing you patched over does not hold, and it comes down and the cold rushes in. A job ends. A relationship ends. A version of your life that you were sure of simply stops being true. And you stand in the dust of it and think, I built my whole self around this, and now it is gone, so who am I? The third phase is the cold. The exposure. The strange, raw feeling of standing in a house that suddenly has open walls, with the night air moving through rooms that used to be closed. This is the loneliest phase. This is the 3 in the morning phase. The phase where it feels like nothing will ever feel solid again. The phase where you lie awake and run your mind over everything that has come down, and cannot quite imagine how it will ever be rebuilt. Everyone who has walked through a Saturn return knows this cold. It is the price of the open wall, and it is real, and it is hard, and it does not last forever. Notice, even here, even now, that the floor has not moved. You are still standing on something. You did not fall through. The cold is real, but the ground is real too, and the ground is what matters. The fourth phase is the quiet. After the wall is down and the dust has settled, there is a strange and unexpected stillness. The hammering stops. The cold steadies into something you can almost get used to. The room is emptier than it has ever been, and at first that emptiness frightens you, the way silence frightens someone who has lived a long time with noise. And then, slowly, the emptiness begins to feel almost like space, like room to breathe, like the first quiet you have had in a very long time. You notice you can hear your own thoughts now, where before there was only the clutter of the crowded house. You notice you can move through the room without bumping into the old furniture of who you used to be. This is Saturn's gift in disguise. The emptiness is not absence. It is room. It is the builder making space for something that could not have fit while the old wall still stood. The fifth phase is the foundation revealed. With the false wall gone, you can finally see what is actually holding the house up. And it is not what you thought. It was never the wall you leaned on. It was something quieter and deeper and older. A few simple things. The people who stayed. The values you did not even know you had until they were the only thing left standing. The part of you that gets up in the morning anyway. That is your foundation. It was there the whole time, underneath the decorations, waiting to be seen. The sixth phase is the first new beam. Quietly, without ceremony, the builder begins to set something new in place. Not a replacement for the wall that fell. Something truer. Something built slowly this time and tested and meant to last. You will barely notice it at first. A new habit. A new boundary. A new and quieter sense of who you are. The rebuilding has begun, and it began the moment the falling stopped. The seventh phase is the dawn. And the dawn always comes. The work lamp grows pale against the growing light at the windows. The builder steps back. And you stand in a house that is part old and part new, part standing and part still open to the sky, and you realize that you are not the same person who heard that first creak in the timbers. You are someone steadier. Someone who has felt a wall fall and lived. Someone who knows now the difference between what holds and what only seems to. Let yourself rest here for a moment, between the phases and what comes next. There is nothing you need to do with any of this tonight. You are only being shown the shape of the thing so that the next time you hear a wall come down, some quiet part of you will remember and will not be quite so afraid. Take a slow breath in and let it go longer than it came. Feel again the weight of your body in the bed, the warmth of the blankets, the softness under your head. You are not in the half-built house. You are here, safe, warm, lying still in the dark, listening to a voice that asks nothing of you. The house is only a story. The rest is real. One more slow breath. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper. Let the day you carried grow faint and far away. Good. So what does this Saturn return ask of you, while the house is being taken apart and built again? It asks you to stop defending the walls that were never load-bearing. To stop spending all your strength holding up the parts of your life that were only ever decoration. It is exhausting, that holding, and Saturn is not asking you to hold harder. Saturn is asking you to let the false walls fall, so you can finally feel the real foundation beneath your feet. It asks you to trust the floor, to notice in the middle of the falling apart that you are still standing, that the worst has come down and you are still here, still breathing, still you. The floor has not moved. It will not move. The foundation of who you are is far deeper than the things that are leaving. It asks you to be patient with the rebuilding. Aries wants to build fast, the way it built before, in a hurry with whatever is near. Aries wants the house finished tonight, wants the wall back up, wants to feel certain again as quickly as possible. But Saturn is asking you to build slowly this time, to leave the wall down a little longer than is comfortable, to sit in the open frame and feel the night air and resist the urge to nail the first thing you find over the gap, to test each beam before you trust it, to make something that will still be standing when the next storm comes. The slowness is not punishment. The slowness is care. The slowness is the difference between a wall you lean on and a wall that actually holds. It asks you to grieve what fell, and then to stop guarding the rubble. There is a kind of person who, after a wall comes down, spends years standing in the dust, mourning, refusing to let the builder clear the space. Saturn understands the grief. Saturn is in no hurry to rush you through it. But Saturn also knows that the rubble is not the house, and that a life spent guarding what already fell is a life that never gets rebuilt. So feel the loss honestly, all of it, and then, when you are ready, let the builder sweep the floor. And it asks you, more than anything, to stop calling this falling apart, and to start, very gently, to call it what it really is. A renovation, clearing, a making of room. The builder is not here to destroy your house. The builder is here because the builder believes the house is worth rebuilding. That is the whole reason any of this is happening. Saturn does not bother taking apart what it has given up on. And now, because you have stood in the cold and felt the walls fall and learned the difference between what holds and what only seemed to, let me show you the 7 gifts the builder leaves behind. They are resting on the windowsill, in the pale early light. You do not have to remember them. Just let them be named softly while you drift. The first gift is the knowledge that you can survive a wall coming down. You have proof now. Not a hope, not a theory, but proof, written into your own life. Fell and you are still here. The thing you were most afraid of losing, you lost, and the world did not end, and the sun came up and you got out of bed and you kept going. You will never again be quite as afraid of losing things, because you have lost something that felt essential and discovered you were essential without it. That is a fear that can never be put back the way it was. You have outgrown it the way you outgrow a coat. The second gift is room. The emptiness you feared turned out to be space. Space to breathe, space to choose, space to become someone the old crowded house had no room for. The wall that fell had been blocking a window you forgot was there, and now the light comes in. You did not lose a room. You gained one, and you gained the light along with it. The third gift is the sight of your real foundation. You know now what actually holds you up. The few true things. The people who stayed, the values that held, the quiet part of you that kept getting up. You will never again confuse a decoration for a support beam. That clarity is yours to keep. The fourth gift is slowness. You have learned that the things built in a hurry are the first to fall, and that the things built slowly, tested, and true are the ones that last. This is Saturn's deepest teaching, and you carry it now in your hands. The fifth gift is a quieter kind of courage. Not the loud Aries courage that leaps before it looks. A slower courage. The courage to stand in an open, half-built house and not run. The courage to let something fall and trust that the rebuilding will come. The courage to be patient in the cold. This is the rarest courage there is, and almost no one is taught it, and you have learned it the only way it can be learned, by living through the night. This courage is more useful than the old kind, and it is yours, and no one can take it back. The sixth gift is honesty. You can no longer pretend the cracked wall is solid. Saturn has burned away your ability to lie to yourself about what is and is not holding. This will feel like a loss at first, and then, slowly, it will feel like freedom. Honesty is heavy to pick up and light to carry. The seventh gift is the house itself. The new one. Part old, part rebuilt, stronger where it was weak, open where it was closed. A house that can hold weather now. A self that has been tested and did not break. When the next hard season comes, and you will meet it standing in a house you trust, because you watched it being built beam by beam, and you know exactly what is holding it up. You did not lose your house in the falling apart. You finally got to keep the parts that were always worth keeping, and to let go of the rest, and to build, slowly and truly, the rooms you will actually live in for the next long stretch of your life. 7 gifts on the windowsill in the early light. Yours. Earned in the dark, the way the truest things always are. And now the story grows soft at the edges, the way stories do when sleep is near. The builder has gone quiet. The work lamp is pale and warm and small against the dawn. The cool night air has stilled. And the house, your house, stands in the gray light, part old and part new, and it holds. It holds. You do not have to rebuild anything tonight. The builder works on a long, slow schedule across years, not nights, and the work will still be there in the morning, patient and unhurried, asking nothing of you while you sleep. So let the house fade now. Let the lamp fade. Let the dust settle in the corners and the cold air go still, and the stars will slowly pass the open frame above you. Feel your body, heavy and warm beneath the blankets. Feel the pillow soft beneath your head. Feel your breath, slow and easy, moving in and moving out, asking nothing of you at all. Whatever is falling apart in your life, it is not falling apart tonight. Tonight it rests. Tonight you rest. The walls that need to come down will come down in their own slow time, and you will still be standing when they do, because you always have been, because the floor does not move, because the foundation of who you are is deeper than anything that can be taken from it. Let your thoughts grow slow. Let them blur and soften and drift, like dust settling in still air. There is nothing to hold. There is nothing to fix. There is only the warm dark, and your slow breath, and the quiet certainty that you are still here, still standing, still whole. If your mind wanders back to the thing that is falling apart, let it wander, and then let it return gently to the warm dark and the slow breath. You do not have to push the thoughts away. You only have to let them grow lighter and quieter and farther off until they are no louder than the wind beyond the open wall. Notice how heavy your arms have become, how heavy your legs, how the bed seems to hold you completely now so that you do not have to hold yourself at all. This is what it feels like to be carried, to set the whole weight of the day and the year and the falling apart down onto something steady and let it take you. The builder works through the night on a schedule of years and asks nothing of you while you sleep. The wall that fell will still be down in the morning, and so will the floor still be solid, and so will you still be standing, and there will be time, slow and patient and unhurried, to rebuild whatever needs rebuilding. But not tonight. Tonight there is only rest. Rest now. You have done enough. You have carried enough. You have held enough. Set it all down on the floor beside the bed, and let it stay there until morning. Drift, soften, sink. May your sleep be deep. May your dreams be kind. May the morning find you steadier. Good night, friend. Good night.